Thanks for joining me. This is Danny, and welcome back to my modded 1.12.2 series. Today, we are going to be doing a few preparations in order to get ready for our turbine episode, in which we are going to be needing a lot of Ludicrite, which is going to require a lot of ender pearls and a lot of blaze rods. So what I want to do today is I want to set up another forestry farm. We had done one earlier in the series for some other various things. I took that down. We replaced it with this farm over here, where we're growing all our stuff in cloches. But the ender pearls aren't really that efficient in the garden cloche, because we just can't we can't scale it as well as we can with a forestry farm. So I kind of started doing it over here. I'm working backwards here. I just created a manual forestry farm. And as you can see, the greenhouse glass from Actually Editions really makes a huge difference in the speed of these things. I mean, these, they grow so freaking fast with the... here, I'll just clear out this row and we can kind of see, usually these ender lilies are really, really, really slow, and most crop growth speed up things don't really have much effect on them, but the greenhouse glass does. So I'm going to set up a forestry farm here. It's going to be, I'm using the same blocks that we used over there. I'm going to have to dig out underneath this because, like I said, I'm kind of doing this backwards. What we're going to need in order to turn the farm into a ender lily farm is, obviously, we're going to have endstone. Normally we would give the farm endstone and it would plant it for us. But we're also going to need the ender electron tube, or actually we're going to need 4 electron tubes placed inside of an intricate circuit board. So, where is my... I don't even remember where the thermionic fabricator is anymore. It's been so... There is a fish in there. There's a fish in the sink. Why is there a fish in the sink? Ah, here it is. Out in the bee farm. So our thermionic fabricator, we need a little bit of molten glass, and then we're just going to stick these ingredients in there. And we have to feed it those ingredients. And then it's going to do that, and it's going to make our ender tubes. Yay! And then I need... Actually, I'm going to have to make a new intricate circuit, I think, if I remember this correctly. We grab our soldering iron. Actually, let me see. Let me see if that's true. If we put that in there... No, we can. Okay, so I'm just going to reuse this intricate circuit board that we made before. It was made in the Carpenter with gold and that. And I'm going to put all 4 of these... Oh, no, not machine upgrades. We want the automatic farm. And all 4 of them were put in. I just shift-clicked and put them all in there, and now we have a managed ender farm. Hooray! Or we have blocks for it. So I think I'm going to put this thing above ground. So we're doing the smallest farm, and the farm structure itself is 3x3x4. Yeah, there we go. And there's our little line showing us that we have successfully made the multi-block structure. Now, if we go in here, we can see that by default we have the arboretum. If I do that, we have a managed ender farm. Right. I'm going to hook up some XNet connectors. Actually, right now, all I want to do is get power into the thing. And then, of course, eventually we're going to pull stuff out. I don't even know if we need the valve. I don't know if we need water for this one. I've never actually done the ender pearl farm before, so we'll see. Okay, so now it's connected with our farm system, which is over here. Farm block, farm block, farm block. So it's just calling them farm blocks in there. So I guess I have to label. We'll have to label those. It's kind of weird. So this one we'll call... Wait, what's it called again? This one we'll call gearbox. This one we'll call valve. And this one we'll call hatch. What I'm doing in the next episode is at least one huge big reactor, and I need 32 of these Ludicrite blocks, and you can see they're quite expensive. We need a lot of Enderium, and yeah, I haven't really had any reason to have hundreds or thousands of ender pearls on hand before now, but now I do. Okay, so here's the hatch. Oh. We don't even have a power channel. I just decided I'm going to put a power cell right on here, so we don't need to use XNet for this, since that system doesn't have power. Otherwise, I'd be putting power into the XNet system just to do this. So there's our link power card that's linked to the rest of our power system. And we're going to go and just set it all to output, I guess. So now our farm should have power. Okay, but we need to get it fertilizer. So for now, I just dumped some fertilizer in there. If let's see. I just have, I have the brick under these. So this is the, just this 3x7 right here. So this is the only part that's being managed by the farm right now. But I'm going to obviously get the rest of them. But if I throw another ender lily seed in there, you'll see that it should end up planting it over there now that it has fertilizer. I'm going to have to come up with some way to autocraft and do the fertilizer or pipe the fertilizer in there. But now I just need to get the stone bricks under this whole thing. There. So I kind of took a step backwards, but that's okay. I was able to harvest all those ender pearls. So now if I put the end stone in here, it'll plant it all for us. And then actually what I'll do is I'll pipe in the ender lilies because they're being stored in there, or the ender lily seeds. It should actually be just enough. If I did that, if I didn't get rid of any, did I? Yep, perfect. Yay! All right, so now into the hatch, we should be able to insert ender lily seeds. So I'm going to grab one here for a filter. So remember we named that guy Hatch. Hatch, okay. So here we are going to, and I have to be quick about this because I don't want it inserting anything else. It probably did, but let's see. Oh, no, it doesn't look like it's inserting anything, so I must... Okay, so this isn't going to work because we're not extracting. So I guess we're going to do create another item channel where we are going in that direction. So we'll be putting our... Oh, no, I got to grab another one. Okay. So we're inserting into here, and we're going to be extracting from our drawer controller. Okay, so now we should see some ender lilies being pulled. Yep, they're being pulled, and if we look out our window, we should see they are being planted. Yay! All right, so step one. So then, of course, all we have to do then is just pull from that hatch on the channel that is putting into these drawers, and it should throw all those ender pearls in there. So there's 324 ender pearls in there, and then it'll also bring the ender lilies back too, because the forestry farms will not automatically do that. So that's actually all we have to do. Extract. This guy is extracting. Yay! So if we look at the farm after I take a nap, all the ender pearls are gone. I'll throw another ender lily seed in there. Cool. Now, that's it. Now we just need to, I guess, automate that fertilizer. The fertilizer lasts for a really, really long time, and it'll probably outlast our need for it. But I'm gonna reserve one of these drawers for fertilizer. You know what? I'm just going to make this the permanent storage for fertilizer. We already have auto crafting for it, so if we run out, I'll just auto craft more. and then it will always be here. So the fertilizer, I'm going to add that to this filter over here. So actually, just to make sure, we've got 136 in there right now. So if we add that to this, it should, yeah, cool. All right, so it's sending fertilizer out there. We just need to come up with a way to make sure that there's always fertilizer in the system. And then that's it. We are soon going to be swimming in ender pearls. Before I conclude this segment, I may as well finish the greenhouse glass. Just cover the rest of this up with greenhouse glass. And that's easy because we have auto crafting for it. So I'll just make another. I'm probably going to need more than a stack, about maybe that much. That's what we're going to need for it. Hooray. Oh my gosh, I'm just waiting for a little bit more greenhouse glass, and this thing is like just constantly harvesting ender pearls. That's crazy. It's a lot of ender pearls. Greenhouse glass. Is that it? I think that's it. There. Oh, uh-oh, that storage is already full. I think I need to make that storage bigger. Let's see. What does it keep? 512. Yeah, I guess we'll do an upgrade on that one. See if we have any on hand. Nope. How far should we go? 13? No, we don't need 13 times. Maybe 5 times is probably enough. Okay, there it goes. Nice. Hooray! Ender pearls for days. Now we need to secure blaze rods. Something a little different and fun. We're going to use the RF Tools spawner in order to spawn our blazes. Definitely not the most efficient spawner in this pack, but it should be fun and interesting because it's a little bit different how it works. And then we're going to use the Draconic Evolution Mob Grinder. We have to be out here and facing inward so that the little skull and crossbones is facing in. I already have the XNet system coming over here. It's the same XNet system that we had set up. I'm down in the basement where all my EvilCraft stuff is, and we have an XNet system back here. I'm pulling power from this power cell in this power channel. So we're extracting and we're inserting into the mob grinder. We're going to need to power lots of things over here. So I actually have this monster spawner. So just for testing purposes, I'm going to let some blazes spawn in there. That's that. And they should get killed like pretty much right away. Okay, one of them got killed. Ow. Okay, whatever. There, so no more come. Why is it not killing? Alright, so it kills him eventually. That's good enough. So this guy, the mob spawner, requires some RF, and it requires some materials. As you can see, to spawn a blaze, it's going to need 1/10 of a blaze rod, 1/2 of another rack, and 30 of some kind of organic materials. There's a lot of options. I'm sure that we can find plenty of stuff that we're growing in our garden to keep up with this. And then what we do is we take these matter beamers and we place them nearby, like so. And then we connect them to the spawner using the smart wrench. So we right click, and we get that satisfying sound. And as you can see, these guys require RF as well. Okay, so just for fun, that one already has RF, so actually I'm going to come through the floor. Okay, so I'm going to connect an XNet connector to each one of these. And oh, and the spawner itself. And then we're going to connect it with cables to the rest of the system. Okay, so now if we go over to our XNet controller, we should see that. Or see them right here. So there's the spawner. We're going to insert. And those are the beamers. Okay, the matter beamers. Okay, hooray, they should all be full of power by the time we get back. Okay, hooray. So just for fun, I'm going to grab some blaze rods. So what we're going to, obviously we're going to automatically pipe these things in here. So one of them we're going to pipe blaze rods into. One of them we're going to put some kind of, well, netherrack. So we're going to have to probably come up with some source of netherrack because we may, you know what, no, we have enough. And then this is just going to have some kind of organic stuff in it. So I'm going to scroll down and see what we have the most of. Starting at the top. Okay, wheat. We have lots of wheat. And as you can see, I pulled that wheat out and it immediately replenished itself. And then we have to give redstone signals to everything. Right? Yeah, so we saw that our blaze rods are getting beamed in. So that's going to be enough to spawn 40 blazes right there. And we need 2 more levers. Oh, and we have exactly 2 more levers. So there's our nether rack. And finally, our wheat. So now I'm going to get out of the way for a second. Okay. Hooray! And it got killed. Nice! The matter beamer is kind of slow, isn't it? I'm going to set up another matter beamer and we'll put pumpkins in that one. Okay, so now it's filling up a little faster. I've got wheat over here. Oh! Some pumpkins. Ah! Cool. Okay, so I moved things over. Now we're ready to kind of set up some automation. I have a detector and I have an interface from refined storage. The interface is basically going to allow us to pull anything from our refined storage system, so we don't have to run our refined storage cables over there and use exporters on every single block. So I'm just going to put an interface so that it's touching a connector, so that seems like a good place. And then I'm going to put a detector touching another detector, or another connector. So this detector is going to be detecting our blaze rods in the system. So we want to keep a certain number of blaze rods, probably, we'll say we want to output a redstone signal when we have under 512. That should probably be more than enough. Of course, we can always change that in the future. So that means if we don't have 512 blaze rods, that's going to be outputting a redstone signal. The interface, if we don't supply any import-export stuff, we actually don't touch any settings in there, then this guy will be able to pull anything from it. So I'm going to add another item channel, and I'm going to name this connector. I'm going to name it power because it's connected to our power thing. So that way when we look in here, we'll just know this one is called power, so that's the correct one. We have a logic channel here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a logic sensor that's going to say if this thing is giving us redstone, so we're detecting redstone. If the redstone is equal to 15, then we're going to output on color. Let's see, what colors are we using? We're using green for this one. We're using white and red. Okay, that's it. So blue. So we'll use blue. So basically, this guy's going to output a redstone signal when we need blaze rods. This guy is going to output the color blue. So when blue is true, we need blaze rods. We are going to output redstone to all 4 of our matter beamers output on color blue. Okay, whatever. Redstone of 15. I'm going to do that 4 times, 1 for each of these. So this means when blue, then we're outputting redstone signal to our matter beamers, so they will beam matter to the spawner. So I made a new item channel, and this item channel is going to be pulling from this interface, and we'll probably do it a stack at a time. And we're not going to tell it what to pull on this end. You know what? Let's do that last. Let's do that last so that it doesn't start importing a bunch of random stuff. So this matter beamer is we're going to insert some item. Probably we'll do blaze rods in that one. And this one we're going to insert so it's going to be blaze rods, wheat, pumpkins, and another rack. So blaze rods, sure, pumpkins, wheat, and another rack. So when we start extracting from there, we should actually already be spawning blazes. Of course, I have to hook this up to our RS system, otherwise it's not really going to work. So that's hooked up, and that's hooked up. So, actually, if we look, we should actually already be spawning them. Okay. Oh, yep, there we go. Hooray! So one thing I didn't realize about this thing is that it will just continue to take items forever. Like, you can fill it up, and it'll just keep taking them. So, obviously, we don't want to be wasting all our blaze rods and all our netherrack when we don't really need to be putting it in here. So, for now, I'm going to make this kind of somewhat semi-automated process where it's going to beam just these two things in there, the pumpkins and the wheat, when we are in need of blaze rods. And I'm going to manually beam in the blaze rods and the netherrack. Just because, for one, we don't need very much of it. And for two, we don't really need very many blaze rods. So I don't want to go through a complicated process of, like, having it place one blaze rod for every 300 of these that it puts in, or yeah, it's not really worth it because I only want like just a few stacks of blaze rods, and we've already got enough stuff in there. So blaze rods here. So actually this I'm just gonna turn off, and netherrack, that one I'm gonna turn off. So it only puts that stuff in there when we're manually telling it to. So we just wanted to put in wheat, or we wanted to give the redstone to the wheat and to the pumpkin one on blue. And then I will just manually make sure that it has enough netherrack. We've got enough netherrack to do, we can do like 300. Yeah, we've got enough to do a lot, but I'm going to put in about... I said I wanted to keep it at about 512, so I'm going to keep that at about 300. And then maybe 50 blaze rods. So I'll just keep those on for a while it pipes that stuff in. And then these guys are going to get redstone automatically when we have less than 512 blaze rods in the system. And I may actually set up more of these matter beamers so that it goes faster. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't already know, the spawner requires a syringe with the mob that you are trying to spawn, and you just make a regular syringe, like so, and then you take it and you hit the mob with it. So multiple times, like each time you hit it, it fills it up like maybe 20% or something like that. So I think I probably had to hit the blaze like 5 times. Look at that, a bone gives me a blaze rod. We have a lot of bones. We have a lot of blood. So I'm going to get a bunch of blaze rods this way too. It might not be a terrible idea to set up some kind of auto crafting for this. We'll just use this blood infuser. I've got a connector on it, and I've got this guy. This is the channel that's putting stuff into our refined storage system. So we're extracting from the bottom in the crafter, pointing at the blood infuser. So we should be able to put recipes in there. Oh, those zombies are trying to drive me a little bit crazy. Shut up. Shut up. Thank you. Wait, you too. This is a processing recipe. We don't need to do blocking. Our dick doesn't really matter. And we're going to do that. So a bone will give us a blaze rod. That's all we really have to tell it. And we can do that with all kinds of blood infuser recipes. Put that in here. And then we say, look at our blaze rods, hold down Control and Shift, and say, give me 64, because that would be cool. And we look in here. So our crafting monitor is saying machine in use, so I'm guessing that means that that machine is sided. So we have to put it on a different side. They'll go in by a hopper, so I guess what we can do then is just have it go in by hopper. Okay, now if we look for blaze rods and say we want 64, it should drop them into the hopper. Yeah, and then they go into the blood infuser. Hooray! Nice. And it's nice and fast because we have 2 promises of velocity. And if it needs more blood, then it's going to start up our... Oh, yep. Yep. It's going to do just this. Yay! So we now have a good source of... Well, we have 2 good sources of blaze rods and ender pearls. 4,096. We are... What does that say? 2,560. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the drawer says 2,560. If you look at the one probe, it says 4,096. And if we look in here, it also says 4,096. So our drawer is completely full of ender pearls. And if we look at our farm, we should see that it is probably idle right now. And all the ender pearls are ready to be harvested. So this thing, now that it's full, it is so freaking fast. If I take like a couple stacks out of there... Oh, here, I'll just take them all out. You can see, like, it's just constantly well, obviously, it's constantly harvesting because these are all full, but you can just see how quickly these guys grow back with this greenhouse glass. It's freaking amazing. I can't put these back in, can I? No. Oh, well. Hooray! So, in the next episode, we're going to start our turbines because we have all the materials we need now. So in this building, I've already kind of started to dig things out. You can see that's how big our turbine is going to be. That's going to be one of the turbines right there. And I may just keep going down and just stack them all on top of each other. We're going to be producing so much power with those. So much. It's going to be so fun. So I hope you join me for that. If you do have any questions, comments, ideas, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this, don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.